In a separate investigation involving former President Trump, the Fulton County grand jury is turning their attention to some of his closest allies. Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows now being ordered to testify.
Subpoena dodger Mark Meadows must testify before the Georgia grand jury. That's according to a ruling by a South Carolina judge today. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm your legal analyst, Adrienne Lawrence. Donald Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, must answer questions under oath before the Georgia special grand jury investigating Republicans' efforts to reverse the 2020 presidential election results in the state. A resident of South Carolina, Meadows had run to the state courts there in an effort to dodge the subpoena, but to no avail. Per the Washington Post. South Carolina Circuit Court Judge Edward Miller ruled Wednesday that Meadows must comply with a subpoena as his testimony is material and necessary to the investigation, and that the state of Georgia is assuring not to cause undue hardship to him. But as you'd imagine, Meadows, through his attorney, has already indicated that he will appeal. Today's ruling was confirmed by a representative for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who also said that Meadows will not have to testify before the grand jury until after the midterm elections. So what does Willis specifically want the former chief of staff to talk about? Well, in her petition seeking Meadows' testimony, Willis wrote she was interested in a December 21 meeting Meadows attended at the White House with Trump and others to discuss allegations of voter fraud and the certification of electoral college votes from Georgia and other states. Willis also noted in the petition that on December 22nd, Meadows made a surprise visit to the Cobb County Civic Center in Marietta, Georgia, where the Georgia Secretary of State's office and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation were conducting an absentee ballot signature match audit. There, Meadows requested to personally observe the audit process, but was prevented from doing so because the audit was not open to the public, Willis wrote. As Donald Trump's right-hand man, Meadows likely has considerable intel regarding efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. We know that as the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol had also subpoenaed Meadows for testimony, but the 63-year-old refused to comply and DOJ refused to prosecute him. Interestingly enough, Meadows is using an unusual legal strategy here that could have implications for other out-of-state residents who were subpoenaed by the Georgia special grand jury. Basically, Meadows is arguing that the Georgia grand jury is not a proper criminal grand jury because it can't indict people. And so Meadows argues that the grand jury isn't legit to compel him to testify and thus he shouldn't have to comply. The South Carolina judge didn't buy that argument, but Texas judges have. Even so, if Fulton County DA Willis really does want to get Meadows' testimony, well, she can always go to his home state and depose him. All said, there are other options out there. I just don't know that Willis is willing to go those lengths, but I'm sure that Meadows will go as far as necessary to avoid having to plead the fifth under the oath. But those are just my thoughts. You let me know what yours are in the comments below. Hit that like and follow button, and thanks for watching.